Who remarried widowers love more, according to Reddit. Number 20. I couldn't imagine losing my wife. She leaves soon for work. I'm gonna go hug her in the shower with my clothes on now. Jesus Christ. In the interest of clarity, the question being asked here is Redditors who remarried after a partner's death. If the partner were to come back, who would you choose and why? So, to spell it out even more, I don't know who the hell I'm pandering to here, but imagine a husband is married to a wife, the wife dies, they find another wife. If that wife were to come back from the grave, who would they choose? So here's where it gets interesting. Oh, write me a fucking novel, why don't you? Number 19, not remarried, but dating someone now. The love of my life committed suicide, and no one will ever compare. He was my best friend, my partner. He taught me to love. Sorry, that's not what it says. I was just regurgitating the same kind of barf that I'd find on the wall of somebody who hangs up live, laugh, and love posters and Facebooks and takes quotes and slaps them onto images of stock people on a beach. Like, kill yourself. What the fuck is this really going on? He taught me what love should be. Healthy love. He made me feel everything I dreamed of could happen. We had the same views, the same passions, the same goals. It is literally feeling like the other half of my soul. Okay. We get it. Okay. I get it. He got me in a way that no one ever could. He was supportive and romantic. He would run me bubble baths, write me notes and love letters. He was the sensitive type, but at the same time, really masculine. He was exactly what I had always dreamed of. This paragraph better be the end of it, my nigga. I recently got back together with my ex. Which is probably dumb of me. I mean, he has grown a lot and wouldn't be a bad person to settle for, but that's just it. I'm settling, and I feel no matter who I was with, it will never be who I want. I'm constantly comparing the two, and I know that's unfair, but the loneliness drove me to where I am. I guess the way I see it is that I can't have the person I want, so I'll settle for the person I know. To be honest, I think, statistically, I think nearly 10 out of 10, relationships have one person settling for the other. And as sad as that is, I genuinely think it's the truth. I believe it's the truth. I think two people finding each other and really matching up on enough levels to where it's relevant is like a freak fucking accident. Even in the age of the internet, where we can basically plug our garbage criteria, in and hopefully find somebody that matches those passions, like, for this girl and these people, because I feel most people settle. She goes on to say, so to answer your question, currently I would choose the one that died. Maybe in a few years I'll find someone else or learn to fall in love with the person I'm with. I'm hopeful, but you don't get lucky twice. It's sad that she's rebounding with her ex though, dude. Update, she says. I didn't expect this to blow up. Thanks for all the advice. To the people calling me selfish or saying I'm not ready to date. I waited a long time to start dating again. I was in therapy. I was and still am working on myself. I gave myself time to grieve. It wasn't like I immediately jumped back with him. I tried dating, talking to other people, but when it got to the point of bringing up my boyfriend, people always got weird or downright rude about it. My ex and I were friends at first, and he helped me through it as I was feeling suicidal myself. He let me cry and scream. He knew when I wanted to talk about it and when I didn't. He was the only person who didn't make me feel like I have to shove it in a box and pretend like it wasn't something that happened. Well, if she's had that time and it's gone, I don't see how that's an aspect of the relationships now. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, naturally, guys, you're dating somebody, you're over the hill for them, like they're your world, to the point where like you really can't go out and experience anything without thinking of them. Like, whether it be like, oh, this one time they and I did this, or it reminds me of this thing about them, or some shit like that. Like, say a couple of years pass, right? Naturally, you won't just be regurgitating things that you're thinking of them. So it shouldn't be an issue with the, I guess, new candidates that you have going on. So the fact that like she drifted to the boyfriend when she was still in the process of grieving seems to be the issue here. But I'm no fucking therapist. And a lot of these women know themselves better than anybody could ever tell them that they know them. It's just because they're women sometimes, and this is going to sound so rude, but maybe you know better than you can tell. You know what I mean? I can show you shit. I don't have to tell you shit. A lot of the especially some of the women that are stuck in relationships that they know don't have a future going forward. They literally just want to hear the same thing. Like you have seen this. You have seen this in your life. A girl is with somebody that they don't want to be with, and you're thinking to yourself, well, why the fuck don't you just stop being with them? And then you ask them that, and they're like, oh yeah, well, I know I don't want to be with them, but and then you're just like, so don't be with them. And then they're like, yeah, I don't want to be with them. I'm not going to be with them. It's like they needed that reassurance. You know what I mean? It's very strange. It's very strange. But that's the way it goes. I'm not reading more of this. I'm afraid to be alone again. Well, there you go. You know? Well, there you go. When it comes to a lot of people settling, especially in relationships where they know that they don't necessarily want to be in it, or it's kind of laziness is what it is, and fear of loneliness. Fear of loneliness, ice that cake with some pretty, laziness. They don't want to establish shit with another person, because sometimes you guys reach a point as far as comfort is concerned, as far as like lack of maintenance being a necessity. You guys are always going to pick the friend that you don't have to dress up for when they come over, and you guys don't necessarily have to jump up and go out because that's what they're about. If y'all can just hang around and watch something, or maybe they want to watch you play a game, or both of us play a game or some shit like that, that's the person's going to pick 1,000 times over. So when it comes to some of these people that they've been with, they've already established the type of, not like rapport, but comfort between one another, where we don't have to be up each other's ass. We don't have to be doing a certain thing. We can, honest to God, exist in a fucking room, both of us doing our own thing, be it on the phone or on the computer, and just enjoy each other's company without having to be talking about each other's days and shit like at all times. And it's just like, people are always going to pick that zero maintenance type shit over the other person. And sometimes starting a new relationship, man, is a lot of fucking work depending on the person. So that's enough of that. Number 18 on the list of who remarried widowers would love more goes as follows. This will get buried, kind of like your dead wife. That's not funny, Kyle. You guys are probably noticing a bit of a reverberation, like ricochet, with my voice bouncing off the walls. I have just moved, and I haven't established myself in a room where it's going to make sense sound-wise. So forgive all of this, but I'll fix it by the next time I record. I just wanted to get something out quick, because I think it's been a day without something. And phase 2 has me wanting to record daily. So this will get buried, much like your... Shut up, Kyle, but I feel like sharing. One of my close friends loved his girlfriend like crazy. Crazy. So crazy that he would buy her favorite ice cream, even if it was pouring rain outside, just to see her smile when she got home and opened the fridge. Anyway, when she got diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, he thought to himself, yes, she can beat it. If anyone should, it was her. Because she was nice and kind, and no one like her could deserve to die. So she fought, and when she lost her hair and was so weak she couldn't even speak, he sat with her and told her jokes. He made plans for her to go on fantastic trips around the world. I even, lent him some of my travel guides so he could describe the places they were going to see together. Well, she passed. And he was broken. It was awful. I would walk with him down to the market, and when he saw her favorite ice cream, he would just break down and start crying. He started purposely going the long way around familiar places, because every time he passed somewhere where he remembered a memory of something, he could feel his heart tearing in two. Years later, after we fell out of touch, I call him one afternoon just to catch up. We were cracking some jokes like old friends, and I could hear in his voice that he seemed to have moved on, or so I thought. Although he hesitated, he started sharing that he was doing something he knew sounded crazy. He woke up every morning and just started talking to her as if she was with him. Just telling her about what he was going to do today and saying how much he missed her. I asked him if he went to see someone about his feelings at all, and he told me no, but he was dating someone and it was going okay. Just thinking of this thread, I can already answer for him. If she came back, just even for a little bit, I know he would choose her in a heartbeat. Here's the fucking terrifying thing about this shit. Do you get what I'm saying? I want you guys to think, and I know a lot of people don't like me interjecting, and by a lot, I mean a little. You guys are in the minority here. A lot of people love it when I interject because this is my fucking channel, and I can give you a Kyle injection if you got a problem with that. But half of y'all would love that, getting some Kyle in the fucking... Listen, my point is this, guys. 10 out of 10 relationships, like I said, statistically, have a lot of people just settling for one another. Maybe they're just together because they like the way each other looks and they're a good fuck for now, but they don't see a future in this relationship. Maybe they're together because of circumstance or geography, you know what I mean? Maybe they're bored, These things happen. True love, as we know it, two people are utterly in love with each other, that match, that are compatible, that can communicate, that feel mutually the same and don't have to worry, and are genuinely the type of people where whether or not they see a future between each other isn't even a thought. They don't even want to think of the idea of it not being so. That's like freak accident type bullshit. Do you know what I mean? And people will be lucky to have ever even gotten into a scenario like that. The bottom line is, when I say that, I say that since it's such a freak accident, since it's such a weird dice roll to have two people that really feel perfect and great for one another, how sad is it that death might rip two people apart, Why can't death rip apart the people that that are like the typical relationship with two people that are just dealing with each other for whatever reason? Like some people need a place to stay, so they're just with their other person and they don't really like them and they're not all about them, and if they had a chance at somebody else, they would probably pick somebody else, but they're getting something out of this that they need or that they want, or that they're too lazy or bored to seek elsewhere, And maybe we're just too low in the list, so as we drift up, we'll see somebody say, oh, I'd pick the new one because they were better. But it seems like all of these were just oh, I was in the perfect relationship with this person that I just couldn't get enough of. And then death ripped their ass up. That sucks. Because that's a double crazy dice roll. And I can subscribe to the better to have loved than lost category with some of the things that I've been through. But when the love would be so intense that if you lose the love, you're just fuck the rest of this. You know what I mean? Then it's probably not better to have loved than lost. Number 17 on the list of who widowers would choose. If the person came back, fuck me. My title was more concise. Who remarried widowers love more? Oh, number 17. My boyfriend died about 1.5 years ago at 18. Would I take him back if he were to come back right now? Absolutely. No hesitation. In 30 years, I don't know. We might have ended up growing into two completely different people, and it wouldn't have worked out anyway. I like to think it would, but that's just morbid wishful thinking. I really miss you, Brandon. I hope you're okay wherever you are. Well, this is a boyfriend. They weren't really married, I like to think that when people are old enough for marriage, unless they're stupid and they're getting young, fresh out of high school, or you guys are definitely under the age of 25 and both of you are getting married and I don't know what the fuck's going on. I like to think that married people have kind of settled into who they are and who they're going to be. Everybody... What? I'm just gonna be dealing with bird noises out in this bitch? Okay. Okay, so sorry. What I'm saying is I'm not saying that everybody, just doesn't change, but a lot of older people, once they kind of settle into who they're going to be, that's who they're going to be, you know what I mean? When you're young, relationships are so temperamental and scary because think of it like this, man. You're a type of person, let's call you an A person, right? And you meet up with your spouse or your person that you're going to be in a relationship. Let's consider them an A person. And over the course of time, you transition into a B person, right? Now, you as an A person only liked A people, but now you as a B person, you don't even like B people. You don't like A people at all either. You want a C person. You know what I'm talking about? That's who you've changed into. So imagine even if your spouse were to remain the same, not only have you changed out of the person that likes that person, but what if they change too? What if the person that they changed into is like a D person and they only like who knows what letter of the alphabet? Can you imagine? Because you're both people that are in flux. You guys exist in a constant state of flux. You probably wouldn't even like the type of person that you're going to become, let alone the person that you're currently with. So when you got these two people and they're both changing, what they're into and what they like are both changing. What are the odds that both of you like each other now, but you're both going to grow into the person that you both will continue to like? You know what I mean? What are the odds that you're going to grow and change and that the person that you're with is going to change into what you like and that you're going to be what they like too? Even if it works on one side, it may not work on the other. You may change into something and the other person's like, yeah, I'm down with that. But they may change into something and you're going to be like, nah, baby. Nah. And that's the scary thing of a relationship. So this is like the first one that I see that's a little bit grounded in reality because it acknowledges that time, of course, is the fire in which we all burn. And it makes us different. So in 30 years, hell yeah, you don't know what the hell you have going on. You probably only, I think if a person were plucked from our lives right now, society has kind of structured us to only cherry pick some of the best memories from their life. You know what I'm talking about? Unless shit was as real as you and people was lying and putting you away. You know what I'm talking about? Then you would only remember these. You would be like, I'm glad that motherfucker's dead. And at least I got something out of it, baby. You know what I mean? I really hope life never gets as hard for you guys as it has been for some people, because I love you to death and I wouldn't want that. I know it seems like I'm rambling, but one day you're going to re-listen to some of this maybe, and it's going to make sense that you had never figured it could have. But number 16. Already took the food off. Sorry. Number 16. I haven't been married, but I've suffered a loss in my love life. Oh, I've suffered a loss of the love of my life. I would choose that one. That died. Everything else past her has just been dull and gray. Number 15. I don't think I can choose. My late wife was absolutely perfect for me, so is my current wife. I'm also a very different person than a long time ago. I'm proud that this guy said this. Or if it's a woman too. I'm proud that they have that kind of fucking awareness. I'm a very different person than I used to be. Guys, we are all constantly growing. And like I tried to make very clear just now, you're going to grow out of what you are now. So somebody meets you right now and they're over the moon for you. They think you're the greatest fucking thing in the world. That's cool. If we were to accept that at face value and just say that's a fact that they love me and are in love with everything about me, if you grow into something, there is no certainty that they're going to love that. And even if you feel the same way for that person, you have no certainty that what they grow into is what you're going to love. It's just people grow apart. So this person goes on to say, my late wife would have liked me even more now, but I don't know that I would have changed for the better if I hadn't met my current wife. Very interesting. This guy is insinuating that the catalyst to the positive change in his life may have been the new partner. He goes on to say, this is a great question, and I've asked it many times to myself. What I've determined is that I can't dwell on the past because That way lies depression, and I've had enough of that. Someone responds, this. My fiance died in my arms. It must have been. It must have been something you said. I'm sorry. I just died in your arms tonight. Ooh, That's a badass song, all right? Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, okay? I didn't suffer a fucking death. What does it matter? I mean, look, geez, you can't get mad at me. Look, this. My fiance died in my arms tonight. It was a hard, messy time afterwards. A close friend helped me and gave me a lot of support through this time. Okay. I want to support somebody, a girl with big titties who had a death. I'll be there for her all night. I'm just kidding, Ann. I'm sorry. A few years later, we're very, very happily married. Before I committed to my current wife, I would very easily have said the one that died. But now I'm a different person. I've grown. Holy shit, dude. I just said this shit. I was just rambling this shit. For those of you who haven't turned this off, like, did what seemed like an old man just rambling, like, end up proving to you that this is how people are, dude? Like, what the fuck? I've learned to accept and not dwell on what ifs. I've learned to make more of the relationships, and a lot of it because of my current wife. So I see my current relationship as better, and therefore would probably not take back my fiance now. But it's, oh my God. But it's because I've learned from what happens and become a different person. Guys, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a vocalist, okay? And a shortcut to relaxing the vocal cords is to yawn. And I don't know, my brain must have reached a point where I was just like, look, yawn as much as you can. And it's gotten to the point where it's just like coming out whenever it wants. So, everything in moderation, brain. Please stop making me yawn so much, because I love relaxed vocal cords as much as the next guy. But man, oh yeah, these are really cool entries here. Number 14. Number 14. I have an American friend. Let's call him B. Man, the letters are my thing. You can't just do the letters, bro. B was married to a Thai lady. That's a dad joke. I was going to make a dad joke just now. B was married to a Thai lady, and I was going to say I prefer a breast lady, implying that, Thai, you know what I mean? That's not funny. That's really unfunny. And not charmingly unfunny, which is like where it's so unfunny where it's like, God damn, like it's a groaner, you know what I mean? Nah. Continue, dude. B was married to a Thai lady some 10 odd years, spoke fluent Thai, and one day she became sick and her family came to get her and she disappeared. He spent 3 years trying to find his wife and track down her family, even hiring a private investigator. They found nothing. Damn, Thai people ain't playing around on that bing bong. Now at this point, he had arrived at the assumption that she was dead, and through a set of extenuating.
Extenuate.
That's not a word I'm familiar with, forgive me. And through a set of extenuating circumstances, he had gotten involved with a pre-op Cambodian trans woman. Let's read that again, Reddit. Let's read that again, subscribers. Now, at this point, he had arrived at the assumption that his wife, his Thai lady, was dead, and through a set of extenuating circumstances, had gotten involved with a pre-op. Pre-op meaning the bing bong still gnip-gnopping between the legs. Gross. That's a man who's calling himself a woman. No operation. Operation. Don't touch the sides. I said to my cock as it dangled between the legs, like with the big, Cambodian trans woman. They dated for about a year and had moved in together when out of the blue the wife showed up. So you like men now. He deliberated for days before coming to the conclusion that he couldn't choose, and told them as much, and stated his intention to have both of them in his life. The Cambodian woman agreed to the proposal, as did his wife. Now, guys, I like to think I have a considerable amount of pull. Maybe, if I were to push come to shove it. But I don't think I could find women who are like down to live with me in one house and unless they were really chill. I don't know. Who are these people? I think it's the women. I think some of the women are just like, guys, look, they agreed, but it never really sat well with her. I'm guessing it was maybe the wife that it didn't sit well with. A month or two later, I saw him again, and he looked so much older. His wife had attempted to kill him with a kitchen knife, and he barely got out with his life. Last I heard, he was quite happy with the Cambodian woman, because it's really a man, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's really a man. I remember some of the old 90s comedy specials that used to talk about how being gay must be so fun because it's two dudes in a relationship at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like when we think gay, we think about the butt fucking, but it's really two dudes. So as long as one of them isn't prissy to the maximum and like effeminate and dramatic, like it's two dudes. That is so cool. It's like having a roommate, but like you're more than that. Hey dude, let's have some pizza. Cool, sweet. No argument, you know what I mean? No, you choose what we're gonna eat today. Anything's fine, it's whatever. You pick anything. Oh, well, how about some pizza? Oh my god, pizza. Oh no, let's anything though. Pick anything. Anything. It's kinda hot in here. So turn the air conditioner down. I don't know about that. What am I gonna wear? Fucking you're killing me, man. Two dudes. It's two dudes. The movie. Number 13. My late wife died about 18 months ago. I am currently engaged to be married. Look, I want to tell you guys something. When I was younger, I knew this dude named Douglas Dozier, and he used to tease me about my voice every day. And then when I would say things, he would say it again and then go, the movie. And it became this really awful inside joke where, the movie would be things that we would attach to everything. I'm not bringing that back, but I say that in warning to let you know that I'm bringing it back, all right? My late wife died about 18 months ago. I'm currently engaged to be married. My late wife and my fiance have some stark differences. My late wife was 5 years older than me. My significant other is 6 years younger than me. My current SO feels like is more in tune with me. Yeah, that makes sense. My current significant other feels like is more in tune with me. I don't know. Feels like they are more in tune than me. I don't know. Feels like whatever. Feels like they are more in tune with me. But my late wife was more stable emotionally because she was older. Or maybe she hit that sweet spot. My late wife and I had more in common, but my current significant other is more interested in sharing our differences. Okay. But there is the one thing that would tip the scale no matter what. If my late wife came back with my late daughter, I would unquestionably go back to them. Oh shit. If my late wife came back with my late daughter, did she crash while she was pregnant or something? Dude. Oh my god, dude. That escalated quickly. Whew. Somebody said, damn, that last sentence. That must be the hardest thing in the world, to lose both your wife and daughter. He says it definitely is not easy. A lot of my fellow widows and widowers have had different experiences in our aftermath coping because they have had to be a parent or a widow. This creates its own challenges that me losing both girls destroyed my entire future. I had an identity crisis because everything I had planned for my future was gone, but I had great support, and my counselor asked me, look, guys, and then here's the crazy thing. Like I said, this guy's obviously a good guy. You can tell by him being crippled by this. It's not just that he lost a loved one. It's not that he lost a potential loved one or like his little girl. Like he clearly is invested in a future. And that's one thing that you guys like, yo, if you're in the comment section right now and you with somebody, okay, girl or boy, if you're a girl or a boy and you're with a girl or a boy and you're with somebody, tell the fucking truth. Do you see a future with this person? They don't need to know unless your boyfriend or your girlfriend also watch this crap. And it's not crap, but I'm saying like they watch it in a capacity where they're probably going to be reading through the comment section. Literally just tell me right now, do you see a future with the person that you're with? And like I said, that kind of shit's like a freak accident where two of these people are together and they're just like, oh my God, no, I never want to ever not be with you. Do you know what I'm saying? This is like maybe in high school you're feeling that way about like the first couple of dudes that you date because you're just crazy about them in that capacity. You know what I mean? But when you're older, it's not like you don't really snack onto that kind of, oh shit, I really need to hold on to this person because there's something special here and I don't want it to end, right? But with this guy's clearly broken the hell up about it. And wouldn't it be more typical? This is what I'm going to say. Wouldn't it be more typical where like some guy just hates his fucking life and the fact that he's got to deal with his lady and his fucking kid now and he didn't want a kid. He wanted to live his life more. If they were both just to be wiped clean in an accident, he would probably be over the moon. The typical guy, that is, because now he's got his life back. You know what I mean? Not to diss anybody, but recently in a stream that I was having, we had one guy, I'm not going to name any names, talking about how he wasn't ready to have a kid. And even though he knocked some girl up, he was saying that he didn't want to, be involved in their life. And I remember one of the things that I said to him was like, excuse me, this is your responsibility. This is your kid now. Okay. It doesn't really matter, like, some of the things that you may have wanted to do or feel like you're going to be robbed the opportunity to do. This is something that you need to do. And the main question I asked him was this: was your father not available for you, expecting like, because, he didn't have one or something? This is what he's about. He then goes into telling me how his father was literally instrumental in guiding him through the obstacles and treacherous, path that was his life. And without him, he wouldn't be where he is today. And he's very happy for his father in his life. And I'm like, nigga, how can you say that? And then just be like kind of loose with the idea of like being a father to this kid. And I don't know, like, I think the bottom line was like, he was over inflating the significance of being with the woman. And I think he was thinking that he couldn't be a dad because he was obviously really against being with the woman that he, impregnated. But I think he just needed to be brought to terms with the fact that you don't have to be in that lady's life and be all about her to be civil with her so that you can deal with your kid in a way that the kid needs. It's just madness. It's just madness. Like I said, like, that's the typical kind of guy. Not this. Poor dude. Poor world. You know what I mean? Where you're finding something, you're wanting something, you're trying to set that up, and it's just ripped away from you. It's a pretty depressing list, but that's the kind of morbid shit you guys come here for. Number 13, my late wife died about 18 months ago. You want to read that a little bit more chipper, Kyle? Yeah, my late wife died about 18 months ago. I don't know why, but it seems like today is going to be a great day. Sorry, I'll try to read it a little more. You should see my face right now. Look, my late wife died about 18 months ago. I'm laughing at myself because I'm an idiot, okay? I'm sorry. I am currently engaged to be married. My late wife and my fiance have some stark differences. Damn, Kyle, it took you this long to realize you read this one already. Something's wrong with you. Anyway, number 12. Now this is a question. What a waste of an entry. Pfft. Oh, what a waste of an entry. Hate you. Okay, 11's been deleted. That's how you know it's juicy. Somebody said, this makes me sad. Sad love. Let's see if we can figure it out what it was based on context clues, because it does not look like this shit is here. And that sucks. Somebody said, this is just like my mom. My dad died over 10 years ago, and she has been dating her boyfriend for about 8 years or so. She has told me multiple times that she would always choose my dad over her boyfriend, hands down. But that's not a possibility. So she wants to enjoy her life like my dad wanted. He told my sister and me that we need to encourage my mom to date when the cancer took him. Oh, that's sad. Oh boy, guys, this is cancer's sad, dude, you know? Not that any type of death is an okay death or fine, you know, but Jesus Christ. And I don't mean to get up my own ass about it, okay? Because this is a pretty much a would you rather question that's being proposed right now. The two options being, would you rather your loved one be taken from you quickly and have that be it? Or would you rather your loved one, gradually die so you at least have time to say goodbye to them? Because naturally, and I hate to get up my own ass, nigga, but you need to be picking the quick death, son. You need to be picking the quick death. And let me put it to you in terms of this. If an animal gets hurt, do you put a bullet in this little motherfucker so that this misery, this agony doesn't have to be extended? Or do you just allow him to die naturally because then he'll have more time? No. And when you're immediately thinking of shooting the motherfucker, why are you doing it? Because you're being considerate of how the animal feels. Okay? And in the same way, if you would make that kind of immediate decision for a fucking animal, why would it take you that long to come to the same decision for a fucking human? You know what I mean? Obviously, the human has choice. So if the human decides that they want to live or they want to, go through some shit and, suffer, that's them. We're not talking about like maybe fighting something off or somebody that has the potential to pull through. We're talking about like, nah, nigga, they ain't gonna make it. We're talking about they're not gonna make it type shit. Would you prefer them in that scenario just so you could say bye, even though they're going through like shit? Or would you rather it just be quick? I don't think anybody deserves to deteriorate, whether it be mentally or physically. It's awful. We're already having that shit going on, in a slow capacity because of time and age. But to deteriorate in a capacity where like you can't remember where you are or who your loved ones' names are, and you know what I mean? You can't get up, you can't lift a finger, you had talents and you can't exercise those anymore. You used to be able to sing, you used to be able to play instruments, you used to be able to fucking, think in a capacity where you were pretty much putting everybody else in line, because you were good at this thing and now you can't do that thing anymore. No one deserves that. Jeez. Man, this is that morbid shit. My bad. Number 10. My dad's friend happily married and had kids, but wife dies fairly young. The kids are fairly young, so he decided to raise the kids himself. Years go by and he manages well. And the kids grow up and turn out smart and get married. He never married anyone for the sheer love he had for his wife. However, at age 50, he realized that life gets lonely after the kids are all grown up and getting married. So he married a widow, and they are happy. They both have infinite love for their previous significant others, but they're happy with each other as well. Oh, this is a happy one. Because they probably got that in common. I didn't think of it like that. And like, this is a very important thing too. I don't know, my nose is stuffing up now. Fucking great. But yeah, one of the most important things that you can do is find a passion that you share and find that in your significant other. Even if it's something that they don't specifically share, something that maybe they're even willing to share with you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to say like a volleyball player versus a volleyball fan or something, but I mean, like, there are plenty of people who are just willing to hear about me go on about video games for fucking hours, even though they're not particularly into video games themselves. And in this scenario, you've got a man and a woman who both lost somebody. So to them, I think they would be the most understanding when it comes to, I want to say, sharing the experiences or the things that they went through with the loved ones, and have it not be like a judgmental thing or like a you need to move on thing. They found a great match there, and I never thought of that. But this sounds great. This is a good entry. Sorry, I'm actually warmed by something. Sorry, it's because my fucking nose is getting stuffed up and I can't breathe. My heart's trying to like feel things. Ugh. Actually, give me a second. Let me see if I can do something about it. God, that made my fucking head hurt. Jesus Christ. Becoming an old man as I'm reading this list. Number 9, I asked my dad in his early teens. No, I asked my dad this in my early teens, who you would choose between the dead wife and the new wife. My mom died of cancer when I was 4, and then he remarried my stepmom 2 years later. He said that he had kept himself up at night with the question loads of times, but came to the conclusion that he is the luckiest man he knows because he found 2 women he would happily spend the rest of his life with, and many people don't even find one. That's some real shit. I don't think he just found any hoe. I think he found the hoes. You know what I'm talking about? And he really is lucky if he found some people that he was compatible with, because some guys just want to fuck somebody that's, pretty and doesn't talk a lot and is willing to allow them to do what they want to do. If that's sitting down and watching sports or playing some video games or being on the computer, all they want to do is find a lady that they love, that loves them back, you know what I mean, that they could fuck the brains out of when they want to or when she wants to, and that's going to be faithful, loyal, and the nagging isn't a big deal. You can talk your head off, you can explode on them, use them as a punching bag. That's what the guys are, that's what we're here for, that a lot of girls don't understand. We're supposed to be your outlet, so use us as you see fit, you know what I mean? Just expect to be used as we see fit when the time fucking rolls around. The bottom line is, you gotta I want to say, allow them to do what they do, because a lot of that's where the strife in relationships ends up, is when the dudes are trying to do something that's essentially harmless. You know what I mean? I can see when it's time consuming and they're maybe doing it all the time and they're not making time for the woman. But when it's just like, hey, I want to get home and kick back and do some bullshit, and the girl's like, no, you don't get to do that. You got me fucked up. I'm like, okay, whoa, no, okay. Luckiest guy in the world, man. I don't know. I just know that it makes me sad because statistically, yeah, people are not going to find the person that they're compatible with, even in a time when it's super easy to find people based on a certain criteria or things that we might have in common. It still doesn't mean that we can find people that are just literally going to be compatible, or worse, people that don't have skeletons in their closet as far as like personal traits. And people are weird, people are bipolar, people are emotional, people can't, control themselves, and sometimes it's not even their fault. It could be a condition or a fucking, maybe they're on the spectrum, you know what I mean? Who knows? And not just like the typical spectrum that we're aware of. There's so many other different things going on in people's lives that literally just chemically make them unstable. And when you try to mix that with another fucking human being, you got a pot of monkey balls. You've got a pot of monkey balls. Listen, number 8, not me, but my mom. My dad died when I was 8. My mom remarried about 5 years later and has now been married to my stepdad almost as long as she was married to my dad. A few days after Gene Wilder died, she wrote this, edited for clarity, to remove some identifying details. I keep seeing posts about Gene Wilder and Gilda Radner in the wake of Gene's passing. I lost my first husband, A, to the side effects of cancer treatment. I was 36, he was 43. I loved him with every fiber of my being, and I grieved. I grieved very hard. I thought my life was truly over. I was wrong. There are moments to this day that A comes to my mind and I have to grieve through something else. The famous firsts. It is no longer, though. The debilitating grief from the first many years ago, it is quieter, and I am much more private about it. It's part of me. That being said, he is my past. M is my present and future. I love M, not as a satisfactory replacement, what a horrible thought, but because of who and what he is. He is perfect for me and perfect for the me that I am now. If I die before M, the thought of anyone saying, oh, she is finally with A now, breaks my heart. The truth is, the widowed heal and rebuild. Some take longer than others, but we are designed to heal whether one remarries or not. So back to Gene Wilder. He remarried in 1991. Gene made it clear through the years how very much he loved Karen. And hopefully the woman who was his wife for 25 years cared for him enough through his decline into Alzheimer's. Has her computer and television turned off right now. Oh boy. Somebody said that's beautiful. What a terrifying thought that like the wife of somebody is just being cast into the shadow of some bitch that the dude was with like decades ago. Can you imagine? Sorry, my nose is really, and if I try it, it's gonna, give me a second. Guys, I am running out of time. I really know how to waste time on these damn lists, and I apologize. Oh no, it's audio. It shouldn't. We'll be fine. Number 7. I would choose her, the one who died. I'd cut off my fucking dick to bring her back. I'd gouge out both my eyes just to be able to catch her smile and feel the way she would run her stupid fake nails on my head. She was absolutely the most beautiful person I've ever met. I used to get chills just knowing she was mine. She died from ovarian cancer, and as it was happening, I literally prayed that I would get cancer too. I thought the world would end when she left, and in a lot of ways, my world did end. Fuck, I loved her so much. It hasn't been long enough for me to become another person yet, and I've been sort of dead inside for the past 3 years since she passed. My current girlfriend is a shrink, and I know she can tell how distant I am even after 2 years together, but I can't change the fact that every memory worth saving was with her. My hometown feels like a memorial to a war I lost because her and I walked every inch of it together. You opened a 6-pack of worms with this one. 6-pack of worms, that's not bad. So guys, here's the pertinent information from this post. He said, past 3 years since she passed away. It's been 3 years since she's dead. But he also said that he's been with his new hoe for 2 years. Current girlfriend, 2 years together. So it took him 1 year to be like, all right, time to jump back into this dating pool. But he's clearly still tore the fuck up about it, unless they're looking for a little bit of that Reddit karma. You never know, so who knows, but I don't know. I think he's taking steps in the right direction, but it's just sad that he definitely would choose the lady. Sad because he lost her, Number 6, Kyle, try to make it through these. I was with my late husband a total of 2 years before he died 8 years ago. It's getting harder and harder to remember exactly who he is. Damn. If you had asked me 8 years ago or 6 years ago, the choice would have been obvious. You were only with him 2 years, though? I wonder how long before that. I like to think 2 years must encompass the entire relationship. I remember after he'd been gone for 6 months that if he walked through the door and told me it had all been a joke, that I would have forgiven him completely. Oh. But now I have a new husband and a baby. The baby both complicates things and makes it easier. I'd stay in my new marriage and my baby. Without the baby, it would be a hard decision because I've got the saint who's been a perfect dead spouse for 8 years, competing with a man who is living and flawed. My loves for them are completely different, but damn, even thinking about this makes my heart heavy. It's easy to hypothesize, but could I really look into his eyes and say no? Could I look at my current husband and leave him? Damn, this question first sounded awesome, but now I'm very glad I'll never have to make the choice. Never say never, baby. I could bring back some corpses right now. If we could make a TV show out of it and put it on my Kyle channel. I need that money. Special thanks to all my patrons, You guys have been so sweet. Patricia, Francois, Hope, Luke, Al Mavarakis. You guys are just adorable. And seriously, I need to find another way to be sexy for you guys because what you do really enables me. By the way, like I said earlier about the noise, I moved. So I have just established my new address for the wish list, but I have no idea what to put on it. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know what the hell to put on. Oh, these would help me at this point. But no. If you're the kind Jesus Christ, what the hell? You see the problem with having a billion tabs open? I apologize. Let's get through this because I don't have time to do this today. I still got a lot of pressure washing and like fucking grout cleaning to do before I can really even set up in certain rooms. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Guys, number 5. My fiance died at 22. If he were to come back now, several decades later, I think we'd be strangers to each other. I am a very different person now. If he turned out like his siblings, I wouldn't even want a relationship with him, honestly. Ooh. It's getting too realistic. People are too aware. When you mature the fuck up, I'm proud. Like, God, Reddit makes me so proud that these other people who are capable of reasonable thought exist. Because on a daily basis, you ain't coming across other people who know what the hell is going on. People don't know, Number 2, my mother, no, not number 2, but a response says, my mother said something similar about her first husband who died young. I was always conscious that her great love wasn't my dad, but she told me that it wasn't fair to compare as they only had a few years and who knows how they would have ended up. Number 4, my great-grandmother faced this issue. My great-grandfather was missing and presumed dead in World War I. Holy shit. They held a memorial for him, then she met and started dating someone else. In 1919, he just wanders back in at the back door of the house with a withered left arm and a wound stripe. Great-grandma split up with the new guy and carried on with my great-grandfather, who ended up dying of appendicitis during the Second World War. Shit was crazy back then. Somebody says, damn, so unfortunate. And someone else says, is it? The pain of thinking someone is lost forever, then a miracle takes place and she gets to be with him once more. I think it's beautiful. She must have been the most grateful woman. Though she did lose him sometime after. This is my biggest pet peeve in the world. Why do people not know the difference between loose, 2 O's, like the noose you should hang around your freaking neck, right? And lose, 1 O. Oh my God, y'all grown, right? Whoa. Number 3. My dad died when he was 45 from a heart attack. My mother was 42. My mom started dating about 2 years after his death, before she died at 56 years old, 14 years after my dad died. She said if he were to come back, she would choose him in a heartbeat. She even had dreams of him walking through the door all those years later. No one in her eyes measured up to him. God, I can only hope that I become so fantastic to somebody. If I'm just like the guy whose lap you'd love to, parch yourself and sit down upon, let me know, I love you, okay? Comment section below. A response to this reads, my mom died at 39. My dad's 47 now. They were the same age and has been remarried and now divorced. He spiraled into an extreme alcoholism ever since she died, and no matter what me or the rest of the family try, we can't seem to pull him out. He'll come over sometimes when he's drunk, and I just let him talk while he sobers up. God, the immense pain he feels over losing my mom, it's the most palpable thing when he talks about it, even if he's barely saying anything. He says it's like a huge part of him was ripped out, and now he's expected to continue living without it. I think what it feels like to lose a mom, but damn, do I hope every day I don't lose my wife. Oh boy. This a dark list, man. It's pretty dank stuff. I could have read something corny as hell. What's your favorite peanut butter flavor? You know what I'm talking about? There's flavors of peanut butter, said everybody else in the thread. Yeah, you got vanilla, you got blueberry, peanut butter. Fucking. That's rude, Kyle. My bad. That's rude. Number 2. Okay. Lost the love of my life after 13 years together, married for 3. I haven't remarried and probably never will, but I've been in 2 relationships after him, and I would still choose him over anyone, anytime. Guys, I feel like the perfect criteria, and I hate like sounding like a goddamn scientist, like, running some sort of experiment and, requiring averages and variables. But I feel like the perfect control here would be for the person that lost a loved one, right? Be in a relationship of at least 5 years, okay, with the one that died, and then be in a new relationship with the new person they marry for at least 5 years, okay? And then we can really make a choice, see what's really going on. No kids, preferably, because kids gonna complicate the shit in your mind. And, but he's the father of my kids. Sorry. I'm really crazy. I need to stop. I'm getting ADD now. I'm sorry. Getting ADD. I wonder if this is why Hannah likes me. Do ADD people like other ADD people? Let's ask the internet. 20 things to remember if you like a person with ADD. What? Is this a list within a list with a big bog? They have an active mind. What? I'm so shocked. Listen, get me the hell out of here. Fucking crazy. What are we on, number 1? I guess so. You think Poem for Your Sprague came in here and embarrassed himself? No. Look, let's try this again. Number 2. I lost the love of my life after 13 years together. Married for 3. I haven't remarried, but probably never will, but I've been in 2 relationships after him, and I would still choose him over anyone, anytime. Back when we were together, I couldn't imagine life without him. And now that I know what that life is like, I'm glad I never could. Oh. That last sentence, wow, I hope true peace finds you eventually. Somebody else writes here. Somebody said, I put it on an inspirational poster for you, and then said, edit, clarification. Oh my God. That's amazing. Somebody thought, you would have thought that he put, I couldn't imagine life without him, and now that I know what it's like, I'm glad I never could. That's what you thought that they were going to put on the poster, but they put this bullshit, edit, clarification. And then you see some idiot standing on a freaking mountaintop. This is what I was thinking about earlier when the person was like, they did everything for me. They ran bubble baths for me. There's nothing wrong with that. It's great, good, you know what I mean? But you don't have to hit people over the head with the fact that it's happening. Like you sound like a cuck when you're just like, look how great my man was to me. Fucking unbelievable. Guys, like I said, I truly believe 2 people that are outrageously compatible to the point where they would never want to not be together is a freak accident. And here's why. And if you don't want to believe it, that's fine. But here's what I like to think. I think everybody settles. Men and women, they both settle, you know? I think women are a little bit better at something that both people do, but the women are better at it because they can allow themselves to do it easily. I'm going to describe what it is to you now. I think a person in a relationship can will themselves into feeling stronger about their partner. And what that means is, like, you meet somebody, they're not that big a deal, but you go out on some dates, or you just get together, you're together now, and you're at their place all the time or whatever. I think you can trick your brain, you can will yourself and force yourself into feeling stronger for them than you did initially, or you probably do right now. And after time, you're over the moon with them in a capacity where you can't exist or consider an existence without them, because you have woven them into every facet of not just your being, but your personal existence. Everything that you do isn't just a thing that you do, but it's something that you want to share with them. And all the time that you spend apart is essentially just a countdown to when you can become back with that person. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like certain things like that shouldn't be forced. It should be like a spontaneous kind of it occurs thing. And I bring women into it because I believe that over time, this almost inadvertently happens with some women. I like to think that if you were to just throw a woman at a guy and they're with him and they're okay with him, and if you ask them, hey, do you see a future with this person? And they say no. I think if you gave them time and they just stuck with that person, maybe out of boredom, maybe out of convenience, like they lived close or whatever, maybe out of like laziness because they don't want to have to start over with some other person and have to go out and do all this stuff and like hide certain portions of themselves from other people that they're not so sure that the person can handle at this point, etc. There are so many hoops to jump through with relationships for certain people that I like to think that if a certain amount of time went by, that when they weave themselves into their lives that hard, that they can't see a future without them. Now, like I said, I think the good ones are freak accidents. And here's what's uncommon, okay? What's common is for a woman with the guy, to be like, oh my God, I can't imagine not being with you. And even though that's the type of thing that the man, if he were to hear that from the woman, would say back to the woman, it sure as hell ain't true, okay? Not just because we can, picture a future without you, but because, like, it doesn't scare us. And I can tell you right now, there have been a few people that I've met where I've thought to myself, holy shit, I'm so glad I know them. Not only am I lucky to know them and have had the chance to share in experiences with them and genuinely felt lucky because of all the people they could give me their attention. You know what I mean? That they chose me to give their attention. But like, okay, here's love, okay? And it's something that's common in women that they do a lot, but guys don't normally do. But I can tell you that I've known people where I've done this, and here's what it is. Gotten freaked out over the hypothetical scenario that you two haven't met. How illogical and stupid is that? It's unreasonable. It's the definition of emotional. But listen, people that I have already met, okay, I've thought to myself, oh my fucking God, it would suck so much if I never met them and then I didn't get the chance to do some of the stuff that I did with them, and that we wouldn't be able to share experiences together. It's just madness. We've already met. You know what I mean? So imagine like feelings jumping out of me, like a fear, like an anxiety over like, fuck, what if that never happened? You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's like, you know, like sometimes I'll tease girls about, you know, the hypotheticals with, man, if I had no arms and no legs, you know, and like I could only see in a spectrum of colors that like sometimes you were invisible on, would you still love me? You know what I mean? It's just like, what are you talking about? It's as silly as that. But I can tell you that I felt that way before. I can tell you that much like a dream that you wake up from, and even though you know it was a dream, you're still anxious as fuck about it. You know what I mean? Not like leftover emotions, like because in the dream you thought it was real, so you wake up and you're still kind of anxious. But like thinking back to the dream and you're still getting weirded out by it, it's just madness. That, dude, is what I think is very hard to come across. And it's weird that we seem to be seeing that all over the place. You ask any teenager in high school right now that's with whatever dumbass, like first boyfriend or, you know, couple of dudes that they've been with, they can tell you they can't see a future without this person because that's just how it works. You know what I mean? But in reality, you know, when people are grown, when people know themselves and know what's up, yeah, dude, it's not so common. It's not so common for people for like I said, for me to genuinely stop and go, holy shit, like life would suck if this didn't happen. Life would suck. And it's happened. And I don't know. I at the same time feel grateful to have come across some of these people that I was compatible with. Feel lucky, like the other guy said. But I can't pretend that in most scenarios this isn't true. You know? People say things, but they don't mean it. That's the absolute truth. But as we reach number 1, I keep audio quality here. I don't know what Audacity does, but it really does fuck up the audio quality. As we reach number 1 on the list of who remarried widowers love more, it reads as follows. I'm a widower dating a widow. It hurts even to read this question. Well, I guess that's that. Okay, I'll go through it. The person who says, I'm a widower dating a widow, it hurts even to read this question. And then they edit the post and say, to those who are replying with, so who would you choose, or what's your answer, you obviously aren't understanding it at all, which is not surprising. It's one of those things that you just can't understand unless you've been through it. Listen, nigga, there are a billion different people in the world who fucking test the structure and consistency of this reality in different ways than you do. Naturally, some people may be able to answer even though you can't, even though perhaps in your opinion most couldn't, because it is, yes, a traumatizing thing, but it's not real. And that's what you need to think, okay? Like, yes, they're asking you, man, if that person swang in the door right now, who would you choose? We're not asking who you would really choose, because how you would act in that scenario isn't something that you even know. You know what I mean? Somebody flies in the door right now, put a gun to your head. You could say you know how you're gonna act, but hey, man, in the heat of the moment, you may do some wild and crazy shit, because when the fight or flight hits that monk ass, you are crazy. We are crazy. We are animals at the end of the day. All right. And when we're cornered, shit gets real. You don't know yourself. How can someone else know you? Okay. The bottom line here is, okay, yes, maybe you can't answer it without just falling into a ball of emotion. But some people know. Some people know, man. Some people you're just dating this person. Okay. And you're not who this question was even targeted at, you fucking bitch. So once again, it's like, hey, man, people who sell bananas for a living, can you answer this question? And some nigga roll and talk about, hold up, I sell apples for a living. But let me tell you this story. Nigga, we said remarried after a partner's death, okay? So you could answer the question. But in reality, this isn't something that's going down. So again, I love you guys to death, and we'll go with it from here. You guys take it easy, and we'll see you later. Bye.